Hello guys, welcome back to the Chelsea Godfather channel. Please subscribe to my channel for daily Chelsea update. Guys, what are we talking about today? We're talking about none other than MOISES CAICEDO and the reports, the tweets out there, which have been lashed onto by just about every major Chelsea, YouTuber, and everybody's moaning, everybody's whining, and we're saying that we're tired. And it's time for Chelsea to move on to the next option. Guys, business is not personal. I mean, there's no need for us to whine and to moan about Brighton and to curse Brighton and to insult Brighton. Listen, Mr. Bloom is just doing his job. He's a businessman. Brighton is his business. And he's in the business of making money. And he's in the business of making the most money possible out of his most valuable assets. And right now, MOISES CAICEDO is the most valuable Brighton player currently on their books. And they obviously know that the reality is that Moises in this market is definitely worth somewhere pretty close to 100 million. Let's just keep it real, guys. Let's keep it real. Like, Mr. Bloom did not wake up in the morning and just start asking for 100 million and pull that number out of his butt. I mean, it's obvious that a lot of players who are of equal or much less value than Caicedo have been sold for 100 million or more, and that's what's driving this move. That is exactly what's driving this move. Is Caicedo worth 100 million? No, he's not worth 100 million. But then again, Enzo, who's barely, I think he only played 6 months at Benfica before we went on ahead and ponied up 105 million. He's not worth anywhere near 105 million. And definitely Declan Rice, with 1 year left on his contract, was not worth 105 million pounds. You understand? So it is what it is. The reason why clubs have been ponying up these crazy numbers is because they know that the market for quality central midfielders is pretty bare. There is just bare. This is just a simple economics 101 factor of supply versus demand. The supply is very, very low, and the demand is high. When the demand is high and the supply for Caicedo type midfielders is low, then guess what? Then the price is going to be high, and that's just what it is. It doesn't mean the actual asset does not have to be worth whatever anybody says that it's worth. It's just a natural market force of economics, and that's what it is. Now, if you extend the logic to just basic negotiations and basic negotiating, guys, at a point, right? Because the tweets are saying that both clubs are at an impasse, and yes, that it's obvious. Nothing has moved in about a month. That's the reality. There hasn't been that much movement. So this, that's not any news. But the point being that, listen, presuming that Chelsea is at somewhere close to or right around 80 million pound valuation, in that based on the last widely reported numbers that we received, was that Chelsea offered 70 million guaranteed plus add-ons of 10 million to get it up to 80 million. Obviously, that was rejected, and nobody can blame Brighton. That's not greed. That's just the reality of where things lie. It's not anything to be mad at. It's just the reality. And so if that's where we currently are, and Brighton is at somewhere, for whatever, between a guaranteed money plus add-ons equaling 100 million, then we are wide apart. We're so wide. We're so wide in range. If Chelsea, if Mr. Bowley, Ewali, and all of the other big shots from Chelsea's ownership group, if they want to make this deal happen, they're going to have to come up. That's just the reality. They're going to have to come up and above somewhere at or higher than 90 in terms of guaranteed money plus add-ons. It's going to be somewhere 90 plus. If it's not 90 plus, they're not going to consider it. That's the reality, right? If they make that, at a point, Chelsea should just go ahead and put their final cards on the table, because we don't have much time. We don't have much time. I mean, we have Liverpool coming to the bridge in a few weeks, in less than a month. Liverpool is going to be coming to the bridge for our first game of the season. So this preseason is going to wind down fairly quickly before anybody realizes what has happened. The preseason is going to be over, and we're going to be back in the hustle and bustle of trying to find these 3 points week in, week out. And after the nightmarish season that we had to endure last year, the last thing, Chelsea cannot afford another slow start with a brand new manager, new young players. We cannot afford a slow start. Trust me, even that alone is worth having to overpay, right? And sometimes you have to overpay. When you overpay for Enzo and everybody, all the Chelsea fans are clapping. I was at the stadium in Philadelphia. When Enzo entered the pitch, he received the loudest ovation. So we overpaid, and we're happy. Sometimes you see why you know that he's quality. He's quality. I mean, on paper, a player with 6 months of experience in Europe, and I believe he's only 21 or 22 years old, is not worth 105 million pounds. But guys, sometimes you have to pay up, you got to pony up, you got to put up, or you got to shut up. Those are the only two options. All this moaning and crying, it helps nobody. We got to either put up or we got to shut up, right? And I'm saying that we should just put up. We should put up and just find a way in terms of guarantees and add-ons to just get as close to 100 as we can, and just see where that goes. Just go ahead and put that final card on the table. Put it up early. It's got to be slapped on the table this week, because we don't have that much time. Slap it on the table. And if Brighton says no, then you say, you know what? All right, we've played our strongest hand, and we're just going to keep it moving, because we don't have time. We just have to move on to Plan B, Plan C, and Plan D, and that's just what it is. So that's how I feel. I mean, I feel like Chelsea, we have overpaid, and we are reaping the value of the overpay in terms of Enzo, and Enzo cannot do it alone. He needs a quality, partner. Santos is great, but he's young. I mean, you guys saw it. I've watched him twice now. I know a lot of fans have been clapping for him, saying he's great, but guys, we've seen it. He needs time. That's the reality. But Enzo needs help right now. Enzo doesn't have time. We need somebody that is ready-made right now, and then bring Santos in from the bench, and then to start some cup games, and maybe start some games every once in a while, a little bit later in the season, once he has a few games under his belt. And so that's what the extra overpay is worth. It's worth having sometimes to overpay, so you can give yourself as a club the best position to finish top 4, because you finish top 4, that's going to be worth a lot more than that extra, what is it, 15 or 20 million that the club is dilly-dallying on. We're just going to have to do it, just like Arsenal had to do it to go ahead and pick up Declan Rice, a player that they have valued at no more than 80 or 85 million. They ended up having to pay 105. So it is what it is. How desperate are you as a club to finish top 4? That is the question for Todd Bowley and the bigwigs to answer. Guys, share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel. Take care. God bless you all. Peace.